Okay, here we are, day 9 of the fermentation process, and we're going to check the specific gravity again. Now, one of the things that people might notice that the big air gap that's in this carboy, that is not a concern when it's fermenting, because all the CO2 that's coming off that wine is displacing all the oxygen in there, and oxygen's the enemy. CO2 protects the wine. So this isn't a problem at this point. As soon as the fermentation is stopped, however, we need to get rid of that air gap, and we will by topping it up with the gallon jug that's sitting over there, which also has an air gap. When I combine both of those, it's going to fill this up to the top. So let's carry on and do the measurements here. So again, I've started with freshly cleaned equipment. Taking this first sample. I need to fill this up a couple times because our specific gravity is now at the point that the hydrometer is sinking quite a ways down into the hydrometer cylinder. Okay. Slide this into there. These on the right way. Okay, so our specific gravity is right at 1.00 now. Okay, so what that means is this fermentation is almost complete, but not quite.
Oops. I know it's not cooperating. There we go.
Yeah, okay, hang on. This is what happened yesterday. The CO2 forms on there and then it raises it back up from what its initial reading is. So there it is right there. Okay, now if we were to watch this over time, the CO2 bubbles that are forming would form on that hydrometer and actually start to raise it up a little bit. So you got to be careful that just check, it's got to be your first initial reading that you do. Pour this back in there.
Can I ask a viewer question?
Yes, you can.
When will you be introducing the gallon jug into the carboy?
When the specific gravity falls between around 0.995, so it's at just right at 1 right now, so it's got to drop a little bit more. So probably in a couple more days, we will see that drop far enough that when the fermentation stops, when the bubbling stops, then at that point, then I would introduce it into here.
Do we ever check the specific gravity of the wine in the gallon?
No, I'm just assuming that it's bubbling along and it's going to follow this one the same. It's the same yeast, so it's going to follow the same.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. We're going to wash the equipment and then we're going to check the red wine. Okay, we've just washed all the equipment and we're going to do the red wine now. If you follow me over here, you can still see, if you zoom in on here, you can still see how this one is bubbling away as well. You see the bubbles coming up there still?
Yeah.
And you can also see that the bag is full of CO2 right now. But it's not quite as much as it was before. So this one, even this one, we can see the fermentation is starting to slow down a little bit. We're going to squeeze that CO2 out of there.
It's starting to smell like wine.
It is starting to smell like wine. It doesn't smell like fresh juice anymore. It's changing from that really big fruity type fruit juice smell into more of a wine type smell now at this point. We're still getting those fruit aromas in there, but the aroma definitely is changing. And one of the things that we are looking for is we do want to make sure that the aroma doesn't start to smell bad. If it smells bad, that indicates that we've got some sort of an issue in there, and that issue is generally hydrogen sulfide, and that is from not having enough nutrients in our wine.
And would that smell like a rotten egg or a sulfur smell?
Yeah, it kind of smells like a rotten egg, burnt rubber. It's obnoxious. Once you smell it, you'll know what the problem is. And dealing with that issue is sort of beyond the scope of this course at this point. But it is really, the issue there is lack of nutrients. Okay.
That's where being a member of a wine club might be beneficial,
Yes, it would.
where you could access the knowledge of other members.
Okay, so this one is at 1.04. So this one is just a little bit behind the fermentation of the first one. Okay. So this one is almost getting near the end stages as well. And again, we've got a huge air gap on the top of the pail there. And once the fermentation stops, this will also get moved into a carboy with a bubbler on it. Now, it'll soon get to that point. Once the fermentation stops, that's when we're going to start adding the sulfites in here and adding the next ingredients of the kit in there. So stay tuned for us now. And if this is the first video you've seen, be sure to click on this box up here to see our full series of our winemaking course. And please like and subscribe because that helps our channel to grow. Thank you for joining us.